Hi everybody. This video is called Why Bother with Ethics? And really, I have to say that's a question that has certainly crossed my mind a few times, and maybe it has crossed your mind too. After all, we do see a lot of people in this world who don't behave morally in a very good way, who get a lot of stuff. They get money, they get power, they get fame. They get all those things that people kind of want. But I want to make a little case now for why bothering with ethics turns out to be one of the best things we can do. And this case really isn't a case that I made up. It is a case that comes from philosophy, beginning with the philosopher Aristotle, who we're going to be studying over the next few weeks. In his book, Nicomachean Ethics, he named his book for his son. Nicomachus was his son. He gives, in the first book of Nicomachean Ethics, book Roman numeral 1, an argument for why being morally good, or as he calls it, virtuous, is really the best way to find happiness. In fact, it's the only way to find happiness, according to him. And his reasoning is pretty complex and has a lot of steps, but what it boils down to is this, that humans find their happiness in achieving the excellence of being a human being. Whatever it is to be the true excellence of humanness is obviously for him what's going to make a human being happy. If we master what it is to be a human being, we will be, at peace with ourselves. We will be contented. We will have attained the place that we are by nature meant to attain. And for Aristotle, the excellence of being a human being is to use our reasoning powers to the fullest. And part of being rational, according to Aristotle, is to attain moral goodness, because moral goodness is the full flowering of our reason. Moral excellence is rational. Because when you think about it, being morally good is really about using your reason to be in control of yourself, to attain some kind of power over oneself. For example, if I am addicted to a drug or to alcohol, and I am behaving in ways that are really not very good, internally I'm at war. All my animal instincts inside me are fighting. But if I use my reason and begin to find ways to improve my behavior, cope with my addiction, and live a more self-controlled life, then all of a sudden I have inner peace. I'm not fighting in myself anymore. And that, to someone like Aristotle, and also to a lot of other philosophers, is the essence of a good, happy life. That peace of mind that comes from self-mastery and using our reason, you couldn't buy it with money. You'd be kind of crazy if you said no to peace of mind in exchange for money and power, in exchange for, a life of fame and glory, in exchange for sex and control over people. Peace of mind, which comes from rationality, which comes from morality, they're all linked up, is the highest human good. And it is the source for these philosophers of true happiness. Happiness is an inside job for them, basically. You probably heard that expression. Now, there are many other reasons that are a little more practical than that for why being morally good might end up being good for you. One reason is it's easier to have a good reputation among other people if you're morally good. So you have more friends. Your family respects you and trusts you. You have more opportunities because people are willing to give you the benefit of the doubt and trust you because they know that you're morally okay. So really, that's another reason. I would say a final reason to consider being morally good is that you're less likely to run afoul of other people's anger. And it sure is nice not to have other people angry at you because you're safer. So that's another kind of very practical reason for moral goodness. Now, to tell you right now, not every philosopher wants to go down this route with morality. There are other philosophers who say, you know what? This whole business of linking morality to happiness is crazy. You should be morally good because it's the right thing to do, and not because you're going to get happiness or good reputation or, good social life or any of that other stuff. You should just be good because you should be good for the sake of doing good. It's your duty to be good. That's another idea. For example, the golden rule, do unto others as you would have them do unto you. Let me say that again. The golden rule, do unto others as you would have them do unto you, is a rule that we're kind of supposed to follow even if it doesn't make us happy. If I have to be kind to somebody, if I have to go to my grandmother's and help her out, even though I'm going to miss the party, well, I can't really say it made me happy to help my grandmother necessarily. Maybe it did, but maybe it didn't in that day. Maybe I would have rather gone to the party. But I'm obliged to do the right thing by my grandmother because I'd want that done to me if I were a grandmother. I'd want my grandchild to come and help me out if I really needed help. So there's a lot of ways to look at this, and we are going to explore the many ways. We're going to spend a lot of time on ethics. But I do want to say just one thing about ethics. It has been my personal experience that living a morally good life to the extent that I can, and believe me, I make mistakes on it all the time, like everybody, but trying to live a morally good life to the extent that I can and trying to improve my virtue and my morality has led to a happy, peaceful life for me, more so than when I fall off the beam and do things that I don't think are morally good. So, anyway, for what it's worth, that's been my experience. If you have questions, as always, give me a call or send me an email. Ask me. Thanks.